started.
Raul C., 1969 from Mexico. Okay, let's see. Against e4, I haven't played e5 in a while. Let's try that. Okay, normal stuff. Oh, that's a bit unusual. I wonder if I can play d4 here. I mean d5. Sort of turning the tables. Yeah, maybe I'll develop a knight first. Okay, so everything's developed except my light squared bishop here. Let's stop his knight or his bishop from coming into g5, because my bishop is outside the pawn chain here. And then play, can I play d5, e takes, knight takes, knight takes, I take there with check, and I take back. So I think I can play d5 here. And it also opens up a square for my bishop. Opens up a line for my bishop, rather, a diagonal. So I have to take here.
Check.
Because my bishop is hanging. And I can take back with the knight. Take back the knight with my queen, I mean. Okay, so I came out even. I thought maybe I would get a little more space in the center with this sequence. And knight to knight d4 looks like a move. It's asking to be made. He has bishop f3, knight d4, bishop f3, queen maybe back to d6. And well, then I could play c6 and develop my bishop. And if he has to play a move like c3 to chase my knight away, then that's a bit of a weakening move. Oh, and of course, if knight f3, I could just take it with my knight and get rid of that. If I want to get rid of that bishop on bishop f3. But my idea was just to drop back, maybe play c6 so I can develop my bishop. Keep a few more pieces on the board. Now, that's going after this pawn, which is defended adequately at the moment. There's maybe a sacrifice here. If I were to play, I'm thinking of playing bishop to e6, threatening the pawn on a2. So after bishop e6, can he take on h6? Knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes. I take there, and that opens up a line for the queen to defend. So I think he can't really take there. So, well, why don't I just push a pawn and try and soften up his king side. He's attacking my pawn. So f6 is kind of an ugly looking move. Let's see, bishop takes, knight, pawn takes, knight takes bishop, pawn takes, and then bishop takes knight. Or in some order like that. Yeah, I think I need to play bishop takes knight at least, so I can defend this pawn. And then continue on with a4. Try and soften up his king side as before. If I can open up the h file, I can get my queen to. If I can open up the a file, I can get my queen to a3 with check, and that's a nice tempo to have here. So I think actually this is winning already. Oh, he can go out to. He can go to the square d2. I can't be too comfortable for him. Let's go ahead and play the check. Make him move. But what's the follow-up? Knight takes bishop is with check, but I don't see that it actually accomplishes anything. Maybe I should bring my queen back to the center then. Defend my e-pawn, which was hanging. I could play b4, b5, b4. Try and gain another square near his king. And if he wants to trade one pair of rooks, I will let him do that. Knight and queen are defending the c6 pawn. Maybe I can double on the A file here. And if he takes, I get a passed pawn here, which might actually just go straight in. Now that's defended by the queen, but I can't push it ahead at the moment. And he can also play the move c3 now, which would force me to move my knight and undefend this pawn. So I wonder if there's something else I should play here. Yes, king is surprisingly secure right there. So rook b8 maybe? Rook b8. And rook b6 to defend the pawn if necessary. But I guess he can play... well, I guess if he plays c3, I can play knight b6 check. That's the idea. So indirectly stopping c3. Okay, so let's that would lose a pawn here. I could just take that pawn because the pin. That's pretty annoying. Okay. Rook b6 defending laterally. Oh, you know, I could have gone to b5. Sack the knight. Oh, no, if he takes with the queen, that's okay. I was thinking if he takes with the king, then I have rook to c5, skewering the queen. Yeah, he can threaten that pawn because of the pin. So I think I have to defend it. He let off a little pressure on the b pawn, yeah. So what to do? Get rid of that pin. Yeah, so now I could consider g6, f5, and that bishop is trapped. The knight's supporting that. Okay, queen hits my rook and the pawn. So rook takes here, pawn takes, knight takes here, check, king moves, and I take the rook. And hopefully this check is not too devastating. Actually, that check looks like it might be uncomfortable. Where do I go? There's only king here.
Check.
I guess I can interpose with the queen at some point. Yeah, maybe there is no other check. I probably should have checked that out before playing that move. Yeah, so he's searching for the follow-up. I don't see it, but I missed a few things in this game. So he has no checks with the king because my queen and my rook are guarding all these squares. He has no checks with the bishop or his rook. He can just grab a pawn. Doesn't that lose a pawn? Because I need the knight to take back here. So if I take his bishop, he can take my rook. Okay, so let's follow this out the whole way. Or, well, instead of taking back, let's threaten the king here. I could have played knight takes, and then he takes my rook, and I would be down the exchange, but his king would be somewhat exposed. But my king isn't looking too great either. So, oh, now there's a check, though. There's a check here.
Check.
Only one legal move. Is there a check here? Yes, there's a check on... no, there are no checks. No checks. Once again, he's on a dark square, and the queen has to do all the work. Okay, that's good. But now I have a check right here. King to that square.
Check.
King to, yeah, so I can take this pawn with check. The bishop is protected.
Check.
And that's a fork of the rook and the queen. So I can take back. And the question is, I want to do anything first. Like I could throw in a check, but that would let, that might be trouble. So I guess I need to think about where the checks are once again. He has a check here that the rook is guarding. That was my first thought. Check here, I can go to
check.
g6. Check here, here, or here. All those squares are guarded. Check here is guarded. Okay, so I'm just a pawn or two up at this point. And this is a nice outside passed pawn. So if I don't get mated... oh, I'm also threatening checkmate. Queen here is checkmate, right?
Checkmate.
All right. Well, that was an entertaining game. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I will do a postmortem as usual and see you guys later. Bye.